Hey everyone, welcome to Kempner Canucks. My name is RevTrev and I'm so glad you're here because today I'm going to be diving into this conversation regarding the next captain, okay? And seems to be this pressure by Canucks fans, and I don't know about the team, but Canuck fans especially, that we need to have a captain. And I don't know why we need to for sure have a captain going into next season. We can. There's nothing wrong with having a captain, but I want to push back a little bit about this. I don't even think we need to have one. Why can't we just have a bunch of assistant captains? Canucks have kind of been way out there in regards to, pushing the envelope, giving Luongo the captaincy for a time, and they're like, no, you can't do that. Why can't you? But I thought Quinn Hughes did a pretty good job of being captain. But a lot of people are upset at Quinn and call him Quitter Hughes. But I'm not there. I don't blame Quinn for wanting to leave this gong show of the Canucks. He was just being honest, and he was like, I need to go. I'm not going to stay. I appreciated my time here. He was very respectful that way. But now it leaves a vacancy, right? And we've had some amazing ones. Of course, Trevor Linden probably being Captain Canuck. There's been some great Naslund, a number of these guys that have been incredible captains. And it's an honor. It's an honor for sure. But when you're talking about the desire to have a captain, you have to embody what a captain is. And there's a lot of responsibilities. You got to be a leader on the ice, off the ice. You got to be able to speak to media. You need to, represent your team well. There's a lot to it. I mean, you have to play at a high level, or try to at least inspire your teammates. And I get that they're all working hard and they're all trying to do what they need to do. But one guy that I think they've offered him the captaincy, but he's declined. But it's not going to be Elias Pettersson, and rightfully so. There's too much pressure on him already, so I wouldn't even consider Elias Pettersson at this stage. But everyone kind of talks about two people, and one is Hronek, and the other one's Brock Besser. Now, I do think there's a couple other options too. I did think Tyler Myers would have been a good option, because then you give him the C for this year and for next year, but we traded him to Dallas. And then by then, maybe we'd have our captaincy piece figured out. But it seems to me that everyone's leaning towards Hronek being the guy. Like, no doubt, everyone should be, he should be the guy that everyone wants to have, and blah, blah, blah. And I get it. He plays... Again, one of the reasons why I love JT Miller, played playoff hockey, preseason, regular season, postseason, and that's kind of Hronek's thing. So I'm there in the way, I have no problem if they want to go Hronek, and he could embody it. The only thing I think that Hronek would be weak in is talking to the media. He just has never been a guy who wants to be in front of a microphone, and that's fair. Do you have to have that as a good skill? No, you probably don't. But, I mean, are you going to be able to handle every game, hey, we're losing again, and some of the questions, and we need to be accountable, right? I mean, they need to be accountable, but what are they going to say? Well, we're going to try better next time. We need to get more pucks on net. We need to get back on defense. I don't know, there's so many standard questions, hey, what do you think the keys are to the game today? Well, if we score more goals than the other team, I think we have a good chance of winning. You know what I mean? And speaking of which, I did my top 10 reasons why Team Canada lost in the gold medal game. The amount of Americans that came into my comments and said, the number one reason is because you guys didn't score more goals than we did. Really, Captain Obvious. Well, thanks so much for... I actually was so annoyed, I responded, oh, thanks, Captain Obvious. Oh, thank you for enlightening us with your incredible hockey IQ and advice. But nowadays, they're kind of trained to just kind of speak mumbo jumbo anyways, just kind of these vague statements. And what I like is a guy who will be honest with the team. And that's one of the reasons why I've loved watching Jim Rutherford is he's just a guy who tells it like it is, right? So when they're choosing, or maybe it's a coach's decision there, who the next captain's going to be, I'm preferring a guy like Brock Besser, who, I mean, he works hard on the ice. He has potential to be really successful. I do think he needs to play with a good center in order to have success. That's what every winger, for the most part, needs. For some reason, him and Pettersson don't click on the ice. I mean, I think they get along good off the ice, but I love Brock's refreshing honesty about when he's struggling, when he's being successful, his desire to be in Vancouver, that he loves being here. Here's the thing that's so interesting, whether it's Hronek or Brock Besser, is they both are making $7.2 million a season until, 2032. Okay, so this is why I kind of don't want to give one. Like, what if there's a guy that we obtain in free agency or we draft, and like, well, okay, so let's just say we draft one of the big boys. We get a Stenberg, a McKenna, or a Verhoff, right? When can you make them captain? Like, when is it that Connor Bedard turns captain? When is it Celebrini turns captain? When is it respectable? Can you give it to them early? Can they still be in their teens? Probably not, right? And that's where Braden Coots comes in. And I think, man, maybe Braden Coots could be our next captain. But he needs to make the team. He needs to contribute. He needs to kind of find his way. So, but there's a number of years before we get to 2032. Do you relinquish that and give? It's kind of like John Tavares has it for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he steps back and he says, Austin Matthews can have it now. Why? He's way better of a captain, right? So when I'm thinking about this, I think about Brock Besser, I think about Hronek, I think about the future, about maybe it's going to be someone like Coots or a McKenna, a Stenberg, a Verhoff. Maybe it could be Bouillon. Now, I do think the coach is kind of doing Bouillon dirty because they played him on the third pairing. The other day, they finally put him in the third period in overtime with Hronek on the top line. It's like, you should be doing that all the time, developing this kid. That kid could be captain. So I appreciate your comments. Please post in the comments what you think, who the next captain should be. But I think Brock Besser would be great in front of a microphone. I think he works hard. I think he's one of those guys him and Hronek both, it seems like they really love Vancouver, but I just feel like Brock loves Vancouver even more. He's like, I don't want to be traded. I want to stay here. I love it here. This is where I was drafted. This is where I want to be. And I love that mentality, and I love his honesty. So I'm personally leaning towards Brock. But you post in the comments what you think. I know I ruffled a couple of feathers there. I don't think we should have a captain this year at all, and I don't think they will. They won't name one this year. But going into next year, I'm okay if they name one. I'd even be okay if they didn't have one next year either. I don't really see the biggest need for that. But yeah, what do you think? Is it even that important? Probably not. Probably, I don't know. It sounds like every other team has it. Oh, okay, that's just not a good enough excuse for me. But whether they pick Hronek, Besser, maybe they wait, I'm okay with any of those. Let me know. Post in the comments. And thanks so much for watching. By the way, I'm everywhere. Check out social medias all over the place. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube. I'm everywhere. So if you're not following me on those, please do support the channel. I appreciate it. Hope you have a fantastic day. Just a reminder, I do post-game shows as well. So if there's a game on, plan that I'm going to be doing a post-game show and join the Canucks conversation after. Have a good night, and go Canucks, go. Believe in blue, and let's keep tanking to get that first overall pick. Have a great day.